This is gonna be a video about PS5 games that have surprised me, right? So, PlayStation 5 games that have surprised me is more about games that went under my radar, or games that I did not expect to enjoy, right? And keep in mind this is gonna be subjective. So, leave down below your favorite PS5 games or games that surprised you, right? So, first one is going to be Solstice. Solstice is like a third-person hack and slash type game, a very similar style to like a Devil May Cry, or like a Castlevania type game. As a fantasy type game, light attacks, yeah, you get heavy attacks, various weapons and buffs. There's this Paris, or there's this companion, right? That deflects attacks are coming towards you. So, for example, there'll be projectiles coming at you, and then the companion will deflect it, right? There's a certain a window of opportunity to parry, right? Those are basic things like in hack and slash type games. Movement too as well, I feel is very fluent. It's more of like a stop and it's more of it's a little bit it's more slower paced than like a God of War, or like a Devil May Cry, but still, like it still holds up pretty good. There is a backtracking, there is platforming too as well. There is upgrades, so there's various types of upgrades, although some of the upgrades can be very expensive relative to how much XP the game gives you, right? And yeah, this one definitely. Next one is going to be Wreckfest. Wreckfest is like like a racing game, almost very similar to a Dirt 5, very similar to Dirt 5, right? Wreckfest, playing it at my first time, it was very slow. It was pretty slow in the mechanics and the drifting, but over time, playing it more and more, I started to really appreciate it more. It reminds me again, very similar to Dirt 5, but it takes it's kind of like a drive club mixed with like a flat out head on, like from back in the day, flat out head on, right? Right. The events, so you're on these tracks, these off road tracks, sometimes on road tracks, sometimes arenas, and yeah, a scenery is beautiful. A terrain is very beautiful. Visually, a very beautiful game, right? Driving mechanics are very solid. The turning, the drifting. Once you get used to it, right? It's pretty solid. This game is kind of unique. It's gonna have gimmicks, so it's gonna have gimmicks in it. So there's gonna be couches, so literally couches that you sit on. You can drive like in this game, right? There's couches, there's like these farm vehicles, these mini farm buggies or whatever are they called. And yeah, there's a demolition derby, so there's this arena, and the objective is to wreck as many cars as possible, right? And yeah, again, it is a more slower paced racer. This is not like a Need for Speed type game, or like a Midnight Club game, but still, like it's pretty solid. It holds up pretty well. Next one is going to be Biomutant. Biomutant, right? I know this one's gonna be more controversial because Biomutant gained a lot of mixed reviews, but Biomutant I really enjoyed. Biomutant for its meleeing, like I really like the fluidity, like this melee type combat, the dodging and looting, right? So there's looting, there's crafting, craft your own weapons, melee weapons, and projectile type weapons, and yeah, the world. So basically, this kind of like an animated style kind of world, right? So like I'm a big fan of a third person animated style games, right? A Ratchet and Clank, or whatever it is, a Jack and Dexter style games. This one kind of reminds me of that. So this is more of like an RPG type game. So there's different levels, there's different upgrades, looting upgrades, and all that. You can so it's called Biomutant, so you can craft your own character. So your character, your creature is gonna look very different than my creature. There's different builds. So there's like an intellect build. I don't remember the other builds. There's like intellect. There's like an engineer type build. There's a build for more health, right? So with lots of health, and yeah, Biomutant, are gonna gain lots of weapons over time, right? Lots of weapons, daggers, pistols, right? This kind of like a baseball bat type weapon. Biomutant's world, so there's like this a narrator. There's this British narrator. as the game is, most of the dialogue is in this made up foreign language, right? So it's like animate style game. So there's this creature. So the a whole world, surrounds around the creatures. Like this post-apocalyptic world, and there's various factions and enemy settlements, and yeah, there's side missions, main missions, and all that. Next one is Scarlet Nexus. Scarlet Nexus I really like because it's hack and slash type nature, a telekinetic powers. It's animate style. So this is like an anime style game. Anime style in that, there's there's these various episodes. So there's this a dialogue and like this off-screen dialogue, cutscenes between different characters and the personalities. You get to see the personalities clash sometimes, and yeah, there's a companion. So companions will give you certain buffs, and a certain buffs or a power. So elemental type powers. There's this a female character. She gives you this elemental blade, so you do extra damage over time, right? There's looting. It reminds me a lot of Nier Automata. It reminds me a little bit of Nier or Nier Replicant, right? Health pickups, mini bosses, all those things. Scar Nexus definitely. Last one's going to be Evil West. Evil West like a Western style, demonic style game, right? It's mostly third person action, except it's not hack and slash. You're more so using projectiles and weapons. You gain this, a revolver, a rifle, Gatling gun, and as well a crossbow, right? There's mini bosses, there's gonna be bosses, right? There's various types of, types of upgrades. You gain this elemental attack, so this electricity type element, so you can use the element to dodge and use this badass super speed electricity takedown, right? And yeah, that's just a Western style game, so it's gonna have those Western, Southern accents, right? Texas style accents, and it takes place in 1800s, right? And yeah, playing Red Dead 2 gave me a lot of some of those Red Dead 2 vibes and the characters. So yeah, thanks for watching PS5 games that surprised me. And remember, this is a part two. Thanks for watching.